If you're running multiple applications on a single EC2 instance and giving them each their own public IP, you're probably wasting money and making your architecture way more fragile than it needs to be. Today I'm going to show you the elegant solution that AWS built right into every network interface. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Network Ninja Cloudcast. I'm Marcus, and with me today is Priya, who's been diving deep into AWS networking.
Hey Marcus. Yeah, I've been setting up some multi-tenant applications and I keep running into IP address headaches. Really hoping you can help me out today.
Perfect timing then, because we're talking about any secondary IP addresses, and this is going to solve a lot of those headaches.
So here's my problem. I have one EC2 instance running 3 different web applications, and each one needs its own IP address for SSL certificates. Right now I'm spinning up 3 instances just to get 3 IPs. That feels really wasteful.
Oh, that's painful. You're paying for 3 instances when one could handle the load, just because of IP addresses. Here's the thing. Every elastic network interface in AWS can have multiple private IP addresses assigned to it. The exact number depends on your instance type, but for example, an M5.large can have up to 10 private IPs per any.
Wait, so I can just add more IPs to my existing network interface?
Exactly. Think of it like a business phone system. Your office has one physical phone line coming in, but that line can have multiple extension numbers. Each extension rings a different desk, but they all share the same physical infrastructure. Your ENI is the phone line, and secondary IPs are the extensions.
Okay, I like that analogy. But does it actually work that way technically? Like, how does the instance know which IP to respond to?
Great question. And yes, the analogy holds up. When you assign secondary private IPs to an ENI, AWS updates the subnet's routing so traffic destined for any of those IPs reaches your instance. But here's the critical part. You need to configure the operating system to actually listen on those IPs. On Amazon Linux, you'd add them to your network configuration, or use the EC2 netutils package which can auto-configure them.
So the instance needs to be aware of all its IPs. What about public IPs? Can each secondary private IP get its own elastic IP?
Absolutely. You can associate one elastic IP with each private IP address. So your 3 applications each get their own public-facing IP, their own SSL certificate bound to that IP, all running on one instance. Your SSL termination works perfectly because each application binds to its specific private IP on port 443.
This is exactly what I needed. But what happens if I need to move one of those applications to a different instance? Do I lose the IP addresses?
This is where it gets really elegant. ENIs can be detached from one instance and attached to another, and they keep everything: their private IPs, their elastic IP associations, their security groups, and critically, their MAC address.
The MAC address persists? Why does that matter?
Some software licenses are tied to MAC addresses. If you're running something like certain database products or legacy applications that validate against the MAC, you can move that ENI to a new instance and the software still sees the same MAC address. AWS guarantees the MAC stays with the ENI for its lifetime.
Oh wow. So I could do a hot migration of a licensed application without reactivating the license?
Exactly. And here's where hot attach scenarios come in. You can attach an ENI to a running instance without stopping it. This is huge for high availability patterns. Imagine you have a failover setup where your secondary instance needs to take over the IP address of a failed primary. You detach the ENI from the failed instance, attach it to the standby, and traffic flows to the new instance within seconds.
That's way faster than updating DNS records and waiting for propagation.
Orders of magnitude faster. DNS propagation can take minutes or hours depending on TTL settings. Any reattachment happens in seconds. The elastic IP stays associated. The private IP stays the same. Clients don't even know anything changed.
Are there any gotchas with hot attaching ENIs?
A few important ones. First, both instances must be in the same availability zone. You cannot attach an ENI across aws. Second, the instance type limits how many ENIs you can attach. A T3.micro only supports 2 ENIs total, while an M5.extra large supports 4. Third, and this trips people up, the primary ENI, ETH0, cannot be detached from a running instance. Only secondary ENIs support hot attach and detach.
So I should plan ahead and create my application's ENIs as secondary interfaces from the start?
Exactly right. Design for mobility. Create dedicated ENIs for workloads that might need to move. Assign your secondary IPs to those ENIs. Associate your elastic IPs there, and you've built in failover capability from day one.
What about security groups? Do they move with the ENI too?
They do. Security groups are attached to the ENI, not the instance. So when you move an ENI, all its firewall rules come with it. This is actually a common mistake I see. People configure security groups thinking they're protecting the instance, but they're really protecting the network interface. If you attach a new ENI with different security groups, that traffic has different rules.
That could definitely cause confusion during troubleshooting.
It does constantly. I've seen teams spend hours debugging why traffic works on one interface but not another, and it's just different security groups attached to each ENI.
Okay, let me make sure I've got this. An ENI can have multiple private IPs. Each can have its own elastic IP. The ENI keeps its MAC address forever, which helps with licensed software. I can hot attach secondary ENIs to running instances for fast failover, but only within the same aws. And security groups travel with the ENI, not the instance.
Perfect summary. One pro tip before we wrap up. In the EC2 console, go to Network Interfaces in the left sidebar. You can create standalone ENIs there, configure all your IPs and security groups, and have them ready to attach whenever you need them. Treat them like portable network identities for your workloads.
I'm definitely going to refactor my setup this week. 3 instances down to 1. Here we come.
That's it for today's episode. If you found this helpful, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel.
And share this with anyone who's wrestling with EC2 networking. This stuff isn't obvious until someone explains it.
Thanks for watching the Network Ninja Cloudcast. See you in the next one.